give to you the floor, Brother Assaf.
جزاكم الله خير Sister Laila. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. It gives me great pleasure tonight to join you guys, and I'm very happy to be with you. Very happy that you were able to join us tonight and listen to what we have to say. I have a few tips that I've accumulated that inshallah I will share with you. Of course, these are my own, as they say, ijtihad, it's my own doings, and inshallah it's advice that you can take or leave, of course, and inshallah it will be of some benefit to you. I'm just going to flip over inshallah to my presentation and we can follow along inshallah. First of all, I have to share my screen, so one moment. All right, I hope everyone can see that. Sister Laila, can you confirm that you can see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, excellent, thank you. So, this pandemic is a thing, as Sheikh Jamal explained, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it comes with some impact, especially financial impact. People have lost their jobs, their wages have been reduced, some have had to close their businesses down completely, some businesses have slowed down, especially in the service area, especially where there's gatherings and things like that. So, of course, some of them were even closed down mandatorily by the government, and we, have no choice but to work with what's there. And of course, the safety and well-being of people is obviously much more important than business and trade and commerce. That being said, it has an impact on individuals, businesses, families, and inshallah, though, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, that surely with hardship comes ease. Inshallah, with this situation, it's still something we can learn from. It's something we can use to adjust our lives. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't leave us alone and won't be something that will impact us too badly, inshallah. Okay, there we go. And so it's important for us in this situation to accept the current state of affairs and remind ourselves, قُلْ لَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا وَمَوْلَانَا وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And we need to put our full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and know that anything that happens to us, any afflictions are from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we need to be content with what we have and how we live, inshallah, and with whatever happens to us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us as believers to be patient, to seek assistance, help, support by our prayers and our patience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is surely with those who are patient. And when I say that, what we mean here is that sometimes if we go through a little bit of difficult times or hardships when it comes to finances, we react quickly and we do drastic things, and that's not what is required here. You can't go, say, if you're a shareholder of some sort of stock or something, go sell it all right now, for pennies on the dollar. Or go, and sell your home or sell your furniture or things like that. Don't go to drastic measures in this situation, but be patient for a while, go back, think before you make any decisions or react in any way. That's the most important thing. And know that no matter how bad it gets, إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينِ. It doesn't matter how bad it is for us, especially here in a first world country where we have a government that, is going to look after us, or at least we're, blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to live in a country that cares about its citizens and, cares about their well-being and tells them to take actions that keeps them safe. And at the same time, inshallah, will provide some financial relief for them. But if we really think of the worst case scenario that we live in, it can't be as bad as a lot of places around the world. It can't be that bad at the end of the day. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always provide for us, no matter how dire the situation gets. And I just want to go through some of the things that the Government of Canada has provided. There's a couple of links here that will take you to the Canada.ca website, which explains a lot of this stuff. And I'm not going to go through it in detail because I don't have that kind of time. But there's quite a few things that they've done to help individuals and families and even businesses to be better off during this crisis and during this isolation that some people are facing, and the mobility of people not being able to work. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have kept their job or been able to work from home or the such. They've increased the child tax benefit by $300 per child. They've also given a $400 credit for this year on GST for each individual, or $600 per couple or family. And they have given each person an extra amount of time till August 31st. Usually April 30th is the deadline for remitting your taxes or filing your income tax, your individual income tax returns. But the government has extended that to August 31st for this year. There's also some mortgage support that's coming, but that isn't from the government directly. They've negotiated some things with the banks. They've spoken to the banks and said, be lenient with people. If they truly cannot make their payments, then defer their payments and things like that. So it's important, if you have a chance and you're really going through some financial struggles at this time, to talk to your financial institution, your mortgage provider, and ask them to defer payments if they possibly can, and negotiate that with them and see how you can work a deal out that makes it easier for you, especially, since inshallah this is going to be a temporary situation. We don't know how long, but we know that eventually it's going to go away, and then things will go back to normal, inshallah. There's also something that's really good, the new Canada Emergency Response Benefit, which is an alternative to employment insurance. So people who usually, get laid off can go on employment insurance, but some people who are self-employed or don't qualify for employment insurance because they haven't worked long enough or don't have enough hours can now apply for Canada Emergency Response Benefit, CERB. And this benefit is important because, like I said, a lot of people don't qualify. It's up to $2,000 per month, but it doesn't start coming in till, I believe, April 20th was the date that they gave us. And this is just a little eye chart, really, nothing too much for you guys to worry about, but it kind of gives you a summary of what things you can do as an individual to get either EI or this CERB. And I'm not going to go through it all, but the gist of it is that you either qualify for EI or you qualify for a sickness benefit or an isolation benefit, or at the end of the day, you would go to the just normal CERB benefit, the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. And some of the numbers are there on the screen. I'll leave it there for a few seconds for people just to look at it and go through it. And if you need this presentation, I'm sure we can send it out. We can send the links out. And if you also would like to contact me for any of this information, I'd be very glad to help out and provide whatever I can, inshallah. Back to you, Sister Naina. Oh, questions, I guess, right?
Yes, Jazakallah khair, Brother Ali. So just before I do the translation, I just want to let you know that we will, inshallah, have Dr. Jamal come back in just a bit. We're just dealing with some technical difficulties on his end. But inshallah, he will be back after this session. Alors, je fais une traduction en français. Alors, le frère Ali Assaf parlait à propos de l'impact financier du COVID. On voit qu'il y a la perte d'emploi, réduction de salaire, il y a des fermetures des entreprises, ainsi que le ralentissement des entreprises. La chose qui veut dire, c'est je sais qu'on passe dans un temps un peu difficile, mais on doit aussi accepter notre situation maintenant et ce qui peut arriver dans le futur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala nous dit d'avoir patience et qu'il est sûrement avec ceux qui sont patients. Quand on passe durant un temps difficile financier, on doit avoir une sorte de balance. Alors, on doit avoir de la patience, on doit avoir de la foi, mais aussi on doit prendre des décisions sans impulsion. Alors ça, c'est un peu un résumé de ce qu'il a dit. Mais pour la deuxième partie, il parlait à propos qu'il y a beaucoup de prestations d'assurance emploi du gouvernement. Il y a aussi des soutiens aux individus et aux familles. Vous pouvez accéder au site canada.ca pour avoir toute cette information. Je ne vais pas passer dans les détails, c'est un peu difficile, mais si vous visitez le site et si vous avez des questions, je vous encourage à les envoyer maintenant et on peut voir ce que notre frère Ali peut nous suggérer. Okay, so I would like to open the floor if there's any questions. I have seen some questions coming in, and I'd like to actually start off with a question for Brother Ali. So the question is, what is your general advice on spending at this point? What if this continues on for a long time?
Bismillah. Well, I think spending in general is something that Islam teaches us not to overspend and not to be extravagant in our spending, and to, spend within our means. And now those means have all of a sudden gotten even a little bit less. And so I think it's time to be vigilant at this time when it comes to spending and make sure we don't spend outside of our means. That, again, doesn't mean that we should, be miserly or tighten our belt to the point that, we think this is going to go on forever. Inshallah, it won't. But yes, the possibility is that it could go on for a little while. And it is important for us to make sure we be responsible fiscally when it comes to spending.
Okay, we have another question actually from the audience. So somebody is asking, do you suggest buying stocks whose prices went down, hoping that they will increase after the crisis?
I definitely will not get into buying or selling stocks because I'm not a stockbroker and I'm not an expert in that area. And, it is good to buy low, but who knows if it's ever going to go up again. That's just something you'd have to talk to a financial advisor about, I think, there. So, and it depends, of course, on the stock.
المايك شغال الفيديو شغال عندك.
All right, so maybe we'll just do one more question. Can I apply for both EI and the emergency fund? Does the provincial government offer other monetary sources of support?
Yes, so you can technically apply for both because there's a backlog in the EI benefit right now. However, you would have to be backlogged in order to get the CRB benefit. And you could also apply for that benefit after the EI runs out if it runs out quicker than, like if you only have certain credits for your EI and it runs out within a month or two, then you can also supplement it with the CRB benefit. What was the second part of the question again, Sister Leila, please? Are there other benefits? Yes. So there are other benefits. Like I said, there's child tax credits that are going to each child, approximately $300. And there's GST credits, and there's going to be, other benefits for businesses like remittances, and they're going to give you a discount on your remittance when it comes to sending it and things like that. And there's a loan that they will forgive $10,000 to small businesses for that have a payroll of $50,000 or above last year. So there's a few other things that you can explore and see if you can qualify for those things and benefit from them. Yes.
Okay, and actually we have one other question from the audience. So the brother's asking, do brothers who work as Uber drivers qualify for any of this? Do they qualify for the CERB?
They could. So they're self-employed people. Self-employed people could qualify for the CERB. They could even qualify for EI in some situations. Of course, each individual is different, and you would have to have had an income of around $5,000 or up in 2019. Sure, you could still try to apply at least, because there's nothing wrong with that, and then you can possibly even call, the Canadian government and find out if you qualify or not, and if they have any other leniencies or other funds that you can leverage there. But those are the ones that are today being offered.